Knowledge Aforethought, Chapter 3. I have been writing since I was 6 years old. Some of it was done by hand, and most of it was done by computer. I've gone through several word processing programs, including Microsoft Word, Google Docs, LibreOffice, and finally Scrivener is my processor of choice. I have written more than 20, I'm probably at 23 full-length novels, short stories, with poetry, a screenplay, and have also several unfinished pieces. Unfortunately, health problems added on to years of repetitive motion mean that my finger joints and wrist joints are not really up to writing 2K words a day or more, 5 days a week. Since I am just starting my career as a writer, I had to find a solution. Enter Dictation. With the rise of AI and natural language processing, speech recognition software has been improving dramatically. People talk to their phones or their household devices all the time. People send text messages while driving, but writing full-length novels is a little bit different. Most of the software out there is so-so. The free software, for the most part, has limitations on how many hours you can dictate, and the other get generally poor reviews for accuracy. Google Dictation gets better reviews and is free and accessible on all devices, but it is still not quite as accurate as I would like, and accuracy is a big thing. So the best reviewed software for any sort of lengthy dictation in various professional fields, as well as just with writing in general, is without a doubt Dragon or Dragon Speak by Nuance. There's really no equal to the software, and they have been around for years. I've been convinced. I know people who have used Dragon and Dragon Speak and say that it's great, and all of the tech review websites say that it is the best. The only problem is that it runs only on Windows, and the Mac software was discontinued a few years ago because it was very buggy. You can get it to run on your iOS device or an Android device, but that is a slightly different system, and I was looking for something to run on my computer. After more research, I found a virtual machine software called Parallels that let me run Windows on my Mac, just like Docker runs Linux on Windows or Mac devices. So I got Dragon, I ran it on Parallels and tried it out, and I was immediately enthralled. It is a really good software. The training of the software for new vocabulary is quite easy, and it continues to adapt and become more accurate as I make corrections and continue to use it. Yes, I can't dictate directly into Scrivener since that runs on the Mac side of my computer, but I can copy it over for later editing, which is all I need. So Dragon turned into a marvelous butler, basically, who captures my writing for me. I named it Bunter, after the Dorothy Sayers character, and I got Bunter for my phone, and so I can go walking and do writing at the same time. This keeps me healthy and lets me be productive while I do it. Now, for those who do not necessarily have health issues like I do, there are also some numbers that you might find interesting to consider dictation for your own writing career. The highly capable writer can write approximately 1,000 words every half hour, provided that you are having no distractions and that you have a very good flow going. The average person can speak 4,000 words in the same amount of time. It does take some getting used to, as dictation and telling a story is completely different than writing a story. You have to remember such things as punctuation and correcting homonyms, because that's problematic sometimes when there and there are often the same. For me, when I go out and bunter on my walks, I can do about 2K words in 45 minutes or so. It takes about an hour 15 when I stay in Bunter, but that's because I get distracted by things like my cat and tea. Still, this is more than double my usual pace. Now, do note that the system is not 100% accurate and does require some training. It learns as you continue to speak and as you correct mistakes and enter new words into its vocabulary. It does already recognize a huge array of accents, and you can choose which accent and language you wish to speak. Unfortunately for me, I have a non-standard accent that sometimes shifts closer to the British side of things than the American side of things, so this has taken a little bit longer for me to train as a result. But it still works amazingly well. So, for as many writers as there are out there producing books, I'm surprised that I don't hear more about dictation. It's not a perfect system, and editing is going to be slightly more complicated now that I have to go back and fix homonyms and punctuation issues and smaller things that I don't necessarily normally have in my writing. But I do not, in the slightest, regret my decision to use dictation software. I have a lifetime of writing ahead of me. I'm not going to let some health issues with my hands and my joints get in the way of doing what I love. That and the cat really enjoys the fact that I have my hands free as I'm writing a book. All the better to pet her with, I believe. I followed Machiavelli into what looked to be a walled city. Period. Some vague history lesson told me that this was Florence. But given my propensity for inaccurate guesses,